Max Verstappen grabs pole position. What a lap by him, and what a day at the U.S. Grand Prix. Let's get right into it from my lovely abode. Sorry for all of you watching with this tiny little light I have in front of me. I'm doing my best to light my face, but God, we won't get into it. I'm just kidding around. Okay, so where do we want to start? Let's just start with the sprint. Let's talk about Lando, Oscar, and the incident off the top, because I saw a lot online and there was a lot of blame being thrown at Piastri, and I have to say that I don't think this was Oscar Piastri's fault. This, in my opinion, was a racing incident. Turn one at Circuit of the Americas is really tight, and it's sort of like a funnel. It has a lot of room on the entry, but on the exit, it really just squeezes off. And to get a pass done there is very challenging. You know, I was speaking with Max today, about Max Verstappen today, and he had said that to get a perfect pass done in turn one at Circuit of the Americas took you having a good line going in and making sure you had a good run coming out. And to do all of that, you had to be clean as possible, and you had to be picture perfect. And he says, very, very hard to do. And when you take a look at the start of this thing, I mean, you had Hülkenberg trying to defend from Alonso, and then you had Norris defending from Piastri. And I thought for Lando, he did a good job of defending. I would have done the same thing, defending the exit, and then also from Oscar doing the old switcheroo, doing the old up and under. I thought that would have been a really good move if he could have pulled that off as well. So there are a number of different components to it. However, I already spoke with Carlos Sainz about this, and I asked him about the start of the race. But it's just because of where he was in the pack, he'd have a good sense of how that first corner was going to go. And sure enough, he said that everyone broke way later than they all thought they were going to or supposed to be breaking. It's like they all sent it in, pretty much in the top 10. They all just sent it right in, and wherever they ended up breaking late, that's what was going to happen. And for Carlos, from his perspective, just trying to navigate his way through all of the debris, all of the chaos, he thought he was going to go off and into the gravel. And miraculously, he was able to bring the car back. And so he was, extremely happy with how obviously the race went, and the fans obviously cheering for Carlos. But, that being said, it was a really tricky start for all the drivers. And at the same time, the Piastri, Norris, that was just a racing incident. And also, on top of all that, I mean, if you're Max Verstappen, not a bad Saturday if you're Max Verstappen, because not only do you win the sprint, get the 8 points, take 8 points out of your competitors in the Drivers' Championship in Piastri and Norris, but you also get pole position. Unbelievable stuff from Max Verstappen on Saturday. And I asked him, we'll start with his final push lap, because he had missed the cutoff time for it, and he didn't make it around in time to do his final push lap. So in the newsroom, or in the media center, when I was watching that, I was like, oh my God, he's going to lose pole position to Lando, or maybe even Charles Leclerc, because at the time, both of them were lighting up the racetrack. And Max came around too late, and so he didn't get a chance to set that final quali lap, but his provisional pole was enough. It was fast enough. Lando couldn't beat it. And so I had asked Max, why he had missed the timing line to start it, his final push lap. And he told me that he was held up massively by other drivers on track, slowing him up. And they were jockeying for positions. I think he said they were setting purple sectors on their out lap, is what he had said to me. Got me laughing pretty good. But he also said he was lucky that it didn't matter, because he was able to get pole or just hang on to pole, but he was still really frustrated with the traffic. And that is something that we saw a little bit during quali on Saturday, where there was a lot of drivers getting in the way of each other. And I'm sure this will be discussed in Mexico at the next driver briefing. For Verstappen, though, and Sunday, the race, he is a little nervous, and he's nervous because of the wind. So it was quite windy at the track today, and there was a lot of tailwind for the drivers out there. Some of the drivers were affected by it, and some weren't. Red Bull Racing had made some changes to Max's car following the sprint race because he was complaining about the rear end and it bouncing a lot. And so the team had made some adjustments. Now he's worried that for tomorrow, because tomorrow he feels that the wind direction, and this is what everybody else is saying, is supposed to change more to like a headwind off the first sector. And he's worried that the changes that they made to the car, he's hoping that it won't affect the car in the race too much. And that's what he's nervous about the most. Lando Norris grabs P2. He had said that he had made a mistake on his in Q3 on his final push laps. He wasn't too confident about the car either. Both drivers, both Lando and Oscar, complaining a lot about the car apparently, only because of trying to extract the potential from it was very hard and very difficult to get it to the limit and have it stay there and not make a mistake. And so I think for Sunday's race, it could be challenging for Lando and McLaren because they didn't get that long running in during the sprint race. So they didn't collect the data that they would have needed that they could apply to Sunday's Grand Prix. So it could be a bit of a struggle for McLaren. At this moment, nobody really knows because McLaren didn't get to do those longer runs. And so that is going to be a question mark for tomorrow is how is the McLaren's tire deg going to hold up? And how much did that crash in the sprint affect McLaren's weekend as a whole? Charles Leclerc, P3, he had a big time 180 for Leclerc, not only on the track, which he did, but a 180 in terms of the team's turnaround of performance with this car. He said that they turned a very tough situation around very quickly, and he said they were able to get a swing in the performance, and that the team needs to understand and really understand that swing of performance and how it happens and why it happened. He thinks the car's race pace will be better than the qualifying pace. And then earlier today, actually, I should mention, received a interesting text from Ferrari, and it was a statement from John Elkann. So John Elkann, CEO of Ferrari, Ferrari chairman, and he said that, quote, "I want to express our full confidence in our team principal, Frederick Vasseur, and in the work he's carrying out together with all our colleagues at Scuderia Ferrari, the mechanics, engineers, and drivers competing this weekend in Austin. I also want to reaffirm the importance of teamwork by everyone to maintain focus on the only goal that matters, always giving our very best on the track." So, where could that be coming from? Very interesting. So, there had been a lot of questions being asked to Lewis and to Charles on Thursday. A lot of it had to focus around Christian Horner and the potential conversations that had been happening between Ferrari and Christian Horner. Again, all of that was just rumors. Drivers didn't comment on it. Lewis felt that it was almost a waste of time. And then we get that statement from John Elkann. So probably wanting to squash rumors as quickly as possible. And so that's why we got that statement. I figured I should share it with you all so you are aware. P4 for George Russell. Just missed out on a potential front row start for George. Got that new contract. Feeling good. He was looking good there for a bit. His first push lap, he felt that there was more potential in it. He said he didn't have uber amounts of confidence going into tomorrow either. So he's not too sure where the McLarens are going to be. Could be a potential podium, but he's not holding his breath at this moment. P5 for Lewis Hamilton. He was happy with the team's turnaround as well with the car. Said it was a massive swing. Something similar to what Charles had said as well. He explained that at the beginning of his qualifying session, he had a massive amount of understeer in the car. And so throughout the session, quali session, the team was adding more wing. And as they progressed through quali and felt that he said that felt that it really helped the car a lot, really turned it around and made it a lot more drivable. For tomorrow, Lewis said he's going to shoot for a podium. So let's see what happens. P6 for Oscar Piastri. Tough day for Oscar at the office. This is a track he hasn't really ever gone super well at. He had said it was a tricky session for himself. And I heard from Andrea Stella, and he explained that the drivers felt it was hard to put the car on the limit, especially in the braking zones. So they were saying that to take the car to the limit, it required them to almost be coming to locking, like almost locking up the brakes. And it was extremely challenging to try and get the car to the limit without locking a brake while on your push lap. You got to remember, like, these drivers cannot afford to make mistakes when they have a new set of soft tires on and they are pushing a braking zone, or they're trying to get to the limit of the car, in the corner, out of the corner, because as soon as you drive too much heat through the tire, it's over. Like, the car just goes sideways because of the tires. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens with Oscar tomorrow. Again, didn't get a lot of long runs in, so we'll see. I'm sure the team has got a baseline from something that they can use, but we'll see if it's going to be competitive enough. Kimi Antonelli, decent day for Kimi, actually. P7 on lap 1 of his push lap there towards the end on the main straight. His DRS didn't open, so he lost some time there. And he said he had also lost a lot of time with the front tires. He says they weren't working properly. It had a lot of understeer in the car. He had said that they didn't make many changes to the car and wanted to have a consistent car heading into qualifying. And that goes back to that confidence part. So where Kimi is now starting to get to where he feels confident with something, doesn't have that extra confidence to make a change, push something into qualifying and seeing where the car goes and trying to navigate it like George does. I mean, because George has that experience, obviously. So for Kimi, smart decision to stick with what he had made him confident and just rode it out throughout the session. And just did the best that he could. So smart move from him, and that's going to be a good confidence builder for him. P8 for Oliver Behrman. Back-to-back Q3 appearances for Ollie. A heck of a run for him. I mean, the team did bring an update to the car. They didn't run it on his car in FP1. Ocon ran it, and so he was kind of behind the 8-ball when it came to understanding it. So he felt that he was learning all about this update as he was going for the first time, as he was going through qualifying and trying to put the car on the limit. And so taking in all of that information and not making any mistakes. Very impressive stuff from Oliver Behrman. Very, very, very impressive. I think for this new update, they still aren't too sure what it should do tomorrow in the race. So keep an eye out for Haas if they go forward or backwards, because I think that they could play a role in uncorking some of these other drivers we got in the bottle, like Carlos Sainz, who qualified P9. I think he's another one of those. He was happy with his runs today, but he felt that he's going to be in the mix with Behrman and Alonso and Antonelli. So just that top 10 there. And I think Behrman could be that sort of cork in the bottle. So if he has a lot of performance, then I mean, geez, Antonelli should be worried. If he doesn't, then I think a guy like Sainz and also Fernando Alonso, who starts P10, will be coming for him. Alonso was happy with the car. The team, he said, worked hard to get it back together after it was damaged during sprint. He felt that 1/10, so just 1/10 would have gave him 7th place. And Alonso felt that 10th was in the car, but on his last attempt, the team was a bit confused on getting him out in time to complete his final push lap, and that happened to a few of the other drivers like Max Verstappen. So he had to push really hard on that out lap so he could make the start finish line, so he could put in that Q3 lap. And he said that he felt that affected the tires too much. There's just too much heat inside the tire for him to extract the performance from the car. Q2, P11, Hulkenberg was the first one, or excuse me, not the first one out. He was P11 and out. He had lap time deleted, but his previous time was enough to keep him in 11th. Liam Lawson, he had track limits at turn 19, but he managed to hang on to his position. Yuki Tsunoda had a bit of traffic in front of him at a few points throughout qualifying, but especially on his final push lap in Q2. He said he was actually feeling good on that final push lap and felt that that lap would have been good enough for Q3, but traffic with the Alpine in his way, he felt that that costed him a shot at punching his way through Q3. I actually thought that Yuki was probably going to qualify P9 or P10, but again, that traffic in front of him looked like it did affect him. Pierre Gasly, P14, he was pretty frustrated that there was so much traffic. Again, another driver with traffic issues. Felt that one driver in particular really ruined his push lap, but wouldn't name names. They didn't change too much on his car because he felt that with all the season that they've gone through, whenever they try to make adjustments before qualifying, the car never really responds. P15 from Franco Colapinto in Q1, P16, Gabriel Bortoleto, P17, Esteban Ocon. Again, he was running the new update. P18, Lance Stroll, he had that deleted lap time for track limits that dropped him out. P19, Albon, same thing. Lap time, track limits, deletion. And then Isaac Hajar, he crashed super hard in the S's. And it's a tough section to really get right on the limit. Max had thought that, with the wind, it made the S section really tricky. So maybe he did get caught out by the wind in that section. I didn't get a chance to speak with Hajar following qualifying, but that's what I could see from watching the replays and speaking to a few of the other drivers on what the windy conditions were like out there. This one's a little shorter this time around. It's been a good day, long day. It was fun. I always enjoy doing this race. It always brings out a lot of surprises. The organizers here, I feel, do a really good job at it. I mean, the traffic's horrible. Like trying to get into the track in the morning is brutal. I mean, then you're going to need to do something because I'm probably only about 15, 20 minutes away from the track, and took me like an hour. No, it took me more than an hour. It took me 75 minutes to get into the track. Like, yeah, it was brutal. So maybe something that the organizers could take a look at freeing up. Other than that, thanks so much, everyone, for watching and listening. Adam and I are going to be back on Monday, and hopefully we'll be able to tape tomorrow evening following the race. I've got to do a couple things. I have to switch out of this hotel into another one tomorrow evenings. Hopefully I can get that done, and Adam and I can get recording ASAP for you guys. And also, and then on a plane on Tuesday off to Mexico. Gonna have some news. There should be some news coming out next week. I'm not going to tell you what, but should have some F1 news coming up in the early parts of next week. So stay tuned.